Hi guys, so today we are going to build a simple kind of to-do list app using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. This is purely for beginner guys or just anyone passing by. It's nothing serious, it's nothing for advanced people or advanced guys. So we're going to build everything from scratch. There is no scripting. We shall handle errors that comes along the way, just as you could handle any errors in real world project. So we're going to do a lot of googling, Stack Overflow, if we get to that point anyway. So yeah, enough of the chit chat, let's get into it. So create first things first, create a folder in your favorite directory or just anywhere. So in my case, I'm going to create in desktop the videos and YouTube. So I'm going to create a directory, make dir, I'm going to call it to do app. Okay, that didn't work. Oh, it's okay. Make not md, make dir to do app, and yeah, it's there. So I just seed into that, and then I'm going to open it in my favorite editor. So in my case, I'm using VS Code. You can use anything. So I'm going to fire that up. So normally how I approach my projects is I go through the idea in my head like several times to picture all the possible scenarios I will encounter in every steps. I will roughly come up with a wireframe or Figma design, whichever, and this is essential so that I don't end up mixing up myself or get lost along the way. So yeah, that's the main thing. Okay, now that this is opened up, I have the directory already, the file name I mean. So I'm going to create 3 files inside. One is index.html, another one is style.css, and lastly app.js. So the index.html is going to hold up the boilerplate for HTML. So I'm going to use the extensions that come with VS Code to fill this for me. So I'm going to create a header component. Sorry, it's not header component. I'm used to React, so that's why header. So here I'm going to just give it a name, Twitch media, or I will have like a semantic thing. So I'll put it in h1. So I'm going to call it, just give it a name, in this case Kantush Media. So it will be nice if we see our changes. So I'm going to open it with the live server. Yeah, so it started at port 55. Wonderful, that is right. So okay, so let's just open this side by side so we can see the changes as we go along. Right, so here we're going to have like our main section, and then inside we are going to have like okay, so we need to have like an input field, right, where we're going to type our to-dos, and so it's going to be of type text, and we can as well just give it a placeholder, make it more beta. So enter your to-dos, right, something like that, to-dos here. All right, and then we can have like a button to handle the on click. So we're going to say add, just name add items. All right, so after that we're going to have like our div element, which is going to hold our, just below there, which is going to hold our to-do list up. So we're going to put it inside an ul and li tags. So let's just put like item, what do I like, capital case, item 1, so we can see what we're building. Just copy these ones several times. Right, so we have item 1, item 2, item 3, and what just happened here? Then it's item 2, it's not that thing. Okay, Right, so this is what we have. We can type, click. It doesn't do anything for now because this is not connected with the logic of the JavaScript. So let's I think that's pretty class of let's say input field. We're going to use that one later on. We're going to have to give it a class of add btn, and then maybe inside here I'm going to give this a class of let's call it wrapper, and then you can give this one a class of ul wrapper. Yeah, so yeah, I think also I want this one to have like a padding of like 4 pixel around, and then maybe something like or actually let's give it a little bit of 6 pixel, and then we'll have like an outline of none. Yeah, that's pretty that is okay. I want to start the add button, so this is it as a button add btn class. So I'm going to copy that one and then just use it below here. So okay, I'm going to give it the same padding, padding of 6 pixel as well. Then I'm going to have it a color of let's give it a background color of is border of none, and I'm going to give it a color of, let's say, white. Right, should be okay. Yeah, that's okay. And maybe a border radius of like 8 pixel. How that looks? Oh, that is too much, so let's give it like 6 pixel. Maybe 4. This is not a styling tutorial, so let's forget about it. And actually I want these two to be in center as well, so width of maybe 60%, and I'm going to give the max a margin of what do you call it, max auto. How do you type max auto? It's margin. I'm used to Tailwind, so that's the problem. Margin of 0 pixel and auto, something like that. Yeah, good. But this is, I don't think this is so maybe we can give it like 19. Yeah, that should work. All right, so auto, which is okay. So we're going to use it in the app.js. So I'm going to store it in a variable. Let's call it an input field, and I'm just going to document those. So this is how we grab the HTML elements in JavaScript. Document dot, you can use query selector or you can use get element by id, whichever. I prefer to use query selector, and then just put in the class, that is the class. And then I also need the add btn class here, so let me quickly grab this one. So I'm going to store it in a variable as well, so add items, use document dot query selector. Okay, I think this is add btn. All right, So I have the two most important things here, and last but not least, I think we need to grab the parent element for this, so that we are going to append all these things, because we're going to delete these ones, and we are going to wait for whenever you add here, add items, it's going to be added here. So we need to grab this one. Okay, so that one as well, and I'm going to create a variable for that as well. It's constant ul wrapper, and it's going to be document dot queries selector, passing that. Wonderful. All right, first things first. So what do I need to do? I want, whenever I click on this one, I need to grab this value, right? So we're going to listen to the add items function, what do you call it? Add items on click event on this button. So we are going to create we're going to do this add items dot add event listener. So the event we're going to listen to is on click event. So whenever that event is fired, we need to run this function. So whenever we click on this one, we need to run on this function, right? So let's just test if it works. So if I click on that one, I should see 1 2 3 on the console. So I'm going to open inspect. So on the console, whenever I click on this one, I should be able to see 1 2 3. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I can see 1 2 3. Yeah, wonderful. All right, so that's not what we want to do. What we want to do is we want to take the UL wrapper and append all those lists here, right? So we're going to have a variable here. I'm going to create a variable called list, which is going to hold the input field dot value, and we're going to remove the white space just before we do anything. So dot trim, it's a JavaScript function that removes the white space. And then so we just check if the list is not equals to an empty string. So if the list is not equals to an empty string, what we need to do is let's think. So we're going to create a global, let's say an array called items. So we're going to do items dot push. So we're going to push the whatever that's going to be typed here into this array. So we're going to items dot push, and then we're going to push the list here, right? And then what we can also do is remove them. So whenever we type this something right now, it's going to push, but you see this one still remains there, so we need to clear that, the input field. So we can do like the lists, or we can do the input field dot value equals to an empty string. All right, yeah, okay. So I want to create a separate function here. It's just called render list. Should be small letters. Okay, render list. So what this function does is create document dot create element. The element we want to create is an li, and then li, and we pass it the item itself, right? So the items inside the array, and we have the ul wrapper, which is our parent, or the ul itself. So we're going to append the chart test, click on add, Let's just open up the inspect so we can see if we have any errors being thrown at us. So it says uncaught error. Okay, so it is not happening here. Right, so it says okay, align is not a function. Okay, it's actually it's not a function. You need to assign this, not just call it as a function. So item, so I take in the item and then I append the inner text there. So let's try if it's going to work. Moment of truth, test. If I click on add item, now I see them. If I click on watch Netflix, that's one of my to-dos. Nice. Okay, so the problem with this is that if I refresh, as you can see, everything disappears. This is because this is in memory, it's not persisting, it's just in memory. So whenever you refresh the page, it disappears. So maybe in the next tutorial we are going to create something like persisting this data into something like local storage or something like that. Yeah, okay, thank you. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you, and if you find it helpful, you can click on the subscribe button. Thank you.